successful national tour. The award-winning production Die Reuk van Appel will be premiered at the Fugard Studio in Cape Town on the 17th of October. The play was initially from an acclaimed novel in 1993 by author Mark Behr before being presented and adopted for the stage by Johann Smith. And for more on this, we chat to Gideon Lombard from our Seapoint Studios in Cape Town. A very good morning to you, Gideon. Thank you so much for joining us. You just returned from a national tour. How was that? How did people receive the play?
Yeah, no, very well. I mean, it started this year in April and it's been touring since, and now it's come home to Cape Town. Well, I say come home to Cape Town because I live here, but it's been amazing touring the country and receiving a whole bunch of very different responses, yeah.
So, Gideon, where exactly was the production shown and which cities were visited?
So, it premiered at Kaka in where is that? In Oudtshoorn this year in April. And then from there, it went on to the Grahamstown National Arts Festival, and then from there to Vryfees in Bloemfontein, and then a whole month in the State Theatre in Pretoria, and then in Potchefstroom at Aardklop, and now it's here at the Fugard Theatre in Cape Town.
Now, I've read some positive reviews about this play. Talk to us about it. What is it based on?
So this play is based on the highly acclaimed novel by the same title, Die Reuk van Appels, or The Smell of Apples, by Mark Behr. And the novel was published in 1993. It's set in 1973 and 1974. And briefly, it's a kind of coming-of-age story of this small boy, Marnus Erasmus. He's 11 years old. He grows up in Cape Town. He's the son of an army general who he adores. His dad is his idol. His mom is the most beautiful woman in the world to him. His sister is a little bit older than he is and bullies him a bit, but he loves her nonetheless. And he has a best friend, Frikkie, who's a little bit more naughty than he is. So on the surface level, it's a very rosy life, a very protected life. But the actual substance of this book and the play lies in all the underneath, the motifs and the things underneath the play, yeah. Namely that the country is at the height of its apartheid and racism in 1973 and 1974. There's of course the border war with Angola and Namibia. So the play looks at the indoctrination of this small boy by the people closest to him. You know, what his dad says he believes without any question, and the dangerous consequences of just believing something without questioning it. Yeah.
Yeah. So how is this one any different from the one released in 1993, or what are the commonalities, if at all?
Well, I mean, it's a very truthful adaptation to the original book. Obviously, when adapting anything from one medium to another, you know, this has gone from novel or a literary medium to a theatrical medium. You got to figure out what to keep and what to throw out, because in a novel, everything is interesting at some stage, but that doesn't necessarily make for a good play. So Johann Smith, the guy who adapted it from the book, and Laura Behr and myself, Laura who directed the play, sat for about a week after Johann had a first draft, and we pieced it together. And yeah. But I would say the story is very truthful to what you have in the book.
You also designed the sound for the show. What was it designing it, and were all the expectations met?
I would hope so. Maybe I'm not the right person to ask. But yes, I think all the expectations were met. We went about it in a very minimal way. If you look at the design, the aesthetic design of the whole production, it is very minimal. It's essentially me and a chair and 40 pages of text with a sound cue here and there. So the focus is really on the literature and the story that came from the literature, and we as a creative team tried to put the emphasis on that because it is so strong. The literature is so strong. So in terms of the design, the direction, the acting, the lighting, all of that is there merely to enhance the inherent story of the play.
And where to from Cape Town?
Say again?
Where to from Cape Town?
Where to from Cape Town? So after this, I'm going to take a well-deserved holiday, but next year it's going to continue touring the country to some of the festivals it hasn't been. It's going to Woordfees in Stellenbosch and then to the Suid-Oosterfees in Cape Town. And then there are discussions with the Market Theatre for Joburg next year. And then at some stage we want to take it overseas. Mark Behr's book was translated into 11 languages, so there's a wide scope of an audience that are familiar with the story.
All right, just briefly, where can you get the tickets?
So the tickets you can buy at computicket.com or at the Fugard Theatre itself.
All right, Gideon, keep on entertaining them, Boot. Thank you so much for your time, man.
Cheers.
All right, that was Gideon Lombard talking to us about the award-winning production, Die Reuk van Appel. It will be presented from the 17th of October until the 11th of November, performed in Afrikaans with English subtitles. All right, let's move on to the Morning Live stage with